I don't know what keeps happening as I sit here on a very hot day in the UK. Basically, I've started to use Streamlabs for streaming the Patreon podcast, and every time I click go live, this is why I'm late, by the way, trying to stop this happening. Every time I click live on the Streamlabs, it automatically turns it turns my stream to public, which is no good. Luckily, I caught it this time, so there's only a few people in here. I don't know why this keeps happening. If you are familiar with Streamlabs and you could let me know, that would be good. This is a Patreon exclusive AMA. I don't like it when it goes public. It upsets me, as you can see. And I may have to start one again because I didn't mind it last week. Last week was an accident, and this week was an accident too. I just don't, because I had numerous windows open to make sure this wouldn't happen, and I saw it. I saw it literally change Patreon, YouTube from unlisted to. I mean, maybe I'll just use basic OBS next week. OBS never does this. I don't know why it does it. There must be a setting somewhere. I don't know enough about Streamlabs to figure it out. I mean, I'm looking now, and there's nowhere that I can see that says, please ignore things it did. But luckily, we caught it quite early. So, I mean, there are people in here that shouldn't be in here. But that's not your fault. That's, I just want to apologize for patrons because you obviously support me, and that is what this is all about. We'll carry on because I don't want to have to re-put a link in the Patreon because I know that pisses people off when it comes to emails and stuff like that. Next week, I will use OBS. People are still getting in. This is ridiculous. Like, it's no one's fault listening, but like, I've turned it to unlisted. It's an unlisted Patreon. Only people with the link should be able to get in. And yet, other people are getting in. I don't get it. It's something to do with Streamlabs, like I say. I apologize if you're upset. Send me a message over the Patreon. I'll make it up to you. I will send you something in order to in order to make it up to you. I mean, I even didn't go live for a while because I was trying to put it back to unlisted, but obviously that doesn't work. If you do know why Streamlabs would turn it straight to public, I'm still looking, by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing to see if I can figure it out. But if you do know why it would do that, please let me know and I'll stop it. But next week I'll just get OBS and we'll just use OBS because OBS never does that. And we will go from there. All right, so we sent a notification out to people. Oh, well, there's nothing I can do. I don't know why it did that. If you're a Patreon upset, please send me a message and we will rectify it. I will make sure that I send you something, some merchandise or a picture or whatever. That way, at least we don't feel shortchanged. Because 2 weeks on the trot is pretty bad, right? It's pretty bad. And if you're watching this in the archive later, it's just one of those things. I will figure it out next week and we will go from there. Anyway, I mean, the good thing is that if you have just snuck in, you can't answer a question. I don't mean that horribly, but it's obviously designed for patrons and stuff like that. It just frustrates me. I get frustrated. Let's answer the questions, though. Quick update with the Patreon as well. Yes, I had to turn it to... it doesn't affect you if you're already there, but the patron said to mention it. I had to change the way that pledges work to instant pledges because basically all that's happening now is a bunch of people. Oh yeah, some people are saying you can stay if you're already in the stream. You can stay. Yes, you don't have to leave. No, don't leave. It's I'm just apologising to patrons. If you're here, you're here. It's all okay. Don't worry about it. That's very kind of you to ask. That's very nice. But no, of course, everyone is. There's only 28. You know, we only got about 5-6 people that have snuck their way in, so it's fine. So basically what keeps happening is people keep pledging and then, you know, they'll either wait for their postcard or their t-shirt or whatever to turn up and they'll either take their money out straight away or they'll get to like 2 days before the end of the month and they'll take their money out. I don't mind a few people doing it. Well, I do mind, but a few people I was like, okay, whatever. But now it's happening all the time. And some people are now taking the mick and they're going and coming. So I've had to turn on instant pledge. Obviously, when you do turn on instant pledge, you can't turn it back off. So I do apologize. It shouldn't affect anyone that's in the Patreon. And it really doesn't make any difference if your intentions are worthy. But I just thought I'd let you know as an update. And there's some content going up on the YouTube channel over the weekend, so keep an eye out for that. But for now, we will answer your questions. Thank you. I haven't got Facebook open either, where we get some more questions as well. Thank you as always for asking them. I appreciate it. And when this works, I will that one. So if you don't know, these are like the laid back streams, the laid back lovely streams. Where is it? There it is. get my comments open. Thank you. Right, good. We're right. Adam John says, hi, Simon. Just wondered whether you meditate, and if so, how do you do it? Any tips to enhance the process? Many thanks, Adam. Do you know what? I have tried meditation in the past, but I think I meditate in my own way. This sounds really cheesy and really stupid, and it makes me sound like an asshole too. I kind of meditate by going to the gym. This is what I realized. The reason the gym is so good for me is because basically meditation is turning your brain off and giving yourself some time to just relax and, you know, not worry about problems and not worry about the stress. Just be one, right? Be in the moment. That's what meditation is, trying to silence your brain. I know when you're in the gym, you don't silence your brain, but I absolutely do. I absolutely do. What do you call it? I can't know the right word, but I absolutely do switch off. I mean, that's not the right term because I don't switch off because I'm still in the gym. But yeah, I absolutely feel at peace in the gym. So I think that's my form of meditation. I think that's when I got injured with my shoulder during wrestling. I think I missed the gym so much simply because I couldn't go, because I couldn't chill out and I couldn't, turn my brain off when I needed it to. And sometimes we all need to do that. I have tried proper meditation, in brackets, quotation marks. I'm okay at it, but I guess I haven't dedicated enough time. Most people say you've got to dedicate loads of time to it. So I probably need to dedicate more time to it. But I think the best way to do it is to treat it like anything. If you want to get good at any kind of subject or topic, you just got to spend more time with it, read on it. Most people say it's good to start with a minute. So just try and calm your mind for a minute, then 2 minutes and 3 minutes and 4 minutes. A lot of people also say not to use apps. So apps may work for you. We're all different. But yeah, I've read a lot of articles about it that say you shouldn't use apps because that's kind of counterproductive or counterintuitive to the process. But keep doing it, man. I think meditation and just giving yourself some time, giving yourself 5 minutes just to exist, I think is really important because especially in the modern day, there's so many stresses. I had an argument today with somebody on Twitter. And then I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I just blocked the guy and I went back. I don't usually do it, but I deleted all my tweets from it because I was like, it's just negative energy. I don't need it. I want to take it out of the universe. And yeah, sometimes I think you just need those. I should have taken those moments and just gone and chilled. That's what I should have done. Podcast in Stone. As always, great content, Simon. Has there been anything that you would never... Has there been anything that you thought would never be to your taste, but you ended up enjoying it? Me and my brother sat down and watched Formula 1 for no reason, just because it was on, and we walked away entertained and really appreciating the skill you must have to drive at that level. I never thought I'd enjoy F1. It's interesting you picked F1. I like F1, but the big criticism about F1 is everyone thinks it's boring these days because the cars are too safe, which is kind of like a good thing. I mean, F1 was more exciting when there was the risk of death. However, when the risk is death, I think it's more important to focus on the cars and the driver's safety. So that's interesting. I mean, yeah, there is. I mean, golf was my one. And baseball. I always thought golf and baseball would be really, not boring, but I didn't think it would be for me. But I started watching golf when I was a kid. I loved it so much. I used to play the Tiger Woods games every single year they came out. And they were just iterations on the same thing, but I loved it. Talk about meditation. Honestly, I was so relaxed just playing Tiger Woods, PGA Tour, whatever. I'm devastated those games don't come out. I know that EA still released them, but it was never the same. Probably because I grew up. And it was the same in baseball. When I was younger, baseball used to be on Channel 4 or 5 over here in the UK, really early. And when I couldn't sleep, I'd get up and I'd put it on. I just really got into it, which is strange because I don't like cricket. I know it's different and there's different rules, but there's just something more entertaining to me about baseball. But yeah, it's baseball and golf. So I guess I had the same thing with you. I think golf as well. I like playing golf. And I think that helps. And, of course, I imagine you drive a car, or at least you know someone that drives a car. And I think when you can make that mental leap, it's not too far removed, you can appreciate a sport better. I think it's why football is so popular, because anybody can go outside and kick a ball around. I mean, golf's a little bit further away in baseball because you have to get equipment. But all you need is a ball and you can play football. So I like that. Yeah. Football, F1. I do like F1. I'm liking it this year a lot. I don't know why. I just think it's not that exciting, but... I don't know. It's just something. It's the same thing. I think it's when you understand the characters and the personalities too. And now I'm getting to know the grid a bit better and the teams and how they work and who's got the best engine and how a car is put together. Yeah, you do. You click with it. James Peterson. What video game character, non-fighting games, would make a great wrestling gimmick? Marcus Phoenix. That's not a fighting game. Marcus Phoenix would be a great character because he's strong, he's alpha male, and he's big. So that would work. Dominic Santiago would also work because he is just Batista. That's like one and the same. If you're going back to the mid-90s, something like, what was that egg called? Dizzy. Dizzy the egg would work. I mean, we did it, we had the gobbledygooker coming out of a giant egg, so why not have an egg that's an actual person? That probably would have been better. So I'd bring in Dizzy, and I'll give you one more, probably Kratos. Kratos, because again, jacked, looks good, looks angry, knows it, got depth to it too with his stuff with his family, so you can buy into that narrative. Question 2: do you think Triple H is the kind of guy to attempt his max lift weekly? No, he's not. I read a lot about Triple H's workout routines these days. He's not like that at all. He's very strength orientated, but he's also very core and flexibility and range of motion motivated as well. I mean, he's a 50-year-old guy. But no, he doesn't do that stuff anymore. And to be honest, I've stopped doing that recently as well. I've retired squats and deadlifts because now that I've started wrestling, the truth is there's too much pressure on my knees and back. That's the truth. And given that I'm not training for that kind of stuff anymore, I'm training to be a better wrestler, you just don't need them. Once you've built your base, if you're first starting out lifting weights, you should. But I've got it to the point now where I don't need them in my arsenal. I know Triple H is the same. Same with The Rock. I've read all of this, and I find it fascinating. It's evolution, man. Ironically, you got to stick with it. Nicholas Combs: hey Simon, here's a silly question for you. Interesting. If you could wrestle any video game character, who would you choose? The only catch is you have to pick a character that became popular through their games, which means you cannot pick Batman or any other superheroes because they got popular through comic books first. Have fun with it, and I hope to chat with you soon. Well, a bit of a boring answer because it would be Marcus Phoenix. Again, there's a match made in heaven right there. He's big, he's jacked, he's going to get a big push, going to be WrestleMania main event. If I'm, of course, at the side of the ring, I also get my WrestleMania main event. Kratos would be in there as well. These two questions kind of cross-correlate, but I'll think of another one out of left field because I would like to fight Sonic because I think Sonic is an asshole and I could shoot on him and I'd win. Mario is clearly better than Sonic. We all know this. We should just put it to bed now in 2019. But yes, I will pick Sonic because I can whip Sonic's ass, punish him for 2006 Abomination, which actually made me laugh. I had to review that game. That game was so funny. You touched the left stick just a teeny bit and Sonic just legged it, and there's frame rate problems, and he fell off the environment all the time. Yeah, it's a funny game. Lame Brain, good name. Hey Simon, I'm a wrestling trainee, good for you, and I'm working on a character. I know the cliche of turning your personality up to 1,000, but what is the best advice you've heard about building a character for wrestling? Do you have your own take? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, building a character is probably the hardest thing to do in wrestling because you'd probably be really good at being a character if you weren't also trying to learn how to wrestle. For example, when you get in a ring to wrestle, I know I'm still at this stage, you have 1,000 things going through your mind. You're trying to remember the match. You're still a bit nervous because you're new, you're green, you're trying to get experience. And then when you realize you've got to add character to all of that as well and not just run through the motions, it gets really hard. But the best way to find your own character is just to try a bunch of different stuff until you do something that feels comfortable. Again, I'm going to sound like the most stereotypical guy ever, but it's more of a feeling. Right, it's more of a feeling. So when you're in the moment and you're cutting a promo or you're doing whatever characterization work you could do, you know when it's going well because it doesn't feel awkward. And that was the same for me when I was doing videos. If you go back and watch some of my earlier videos, I look like a deer in the headlights because I hadn't found my persona in front of camera or whatever you want to call it. But as soon as I did found that and I found more comfortable, I started to have more fun with it. I got more confident, and it just got better from there. And it's the same with wrestling. I guess I'm lucky in the sense that I've taken all that video stuff and put it into wrestling, so I kind of have a good idea of who I want to be. But I think you should just come up with an idea that you like, that triggers something in your brain that gets you excited, because that way you're going to be motivated as well. And just try and see where that goes, and try and see and just do whatever you have to do so that before long, again, it's just second nature and you're not overthinking it, because then you can think about the moves and the execution and the spots you've got coming up, because your character work is just a natural thing that you've developed and you've applied to your wrestling. I don't know if that helps or not, but yeah, I tried. Stan Krupka, my man. Hey, Simon. So I thought about your top 10 Simon things lists. I've started doing them on my channel right now, as you know. I have a suggestion for the top things in your life you'd like to accomplish doing your life outside being signed by WWE or AEW. That's good. 10 things I'd like to do in my life. Stan, I'm going to put it on the list. I have to say, this week's SmackDown compared to Raw was saddening. Too much of the same, too much Shane, too many talk shows. Where are the women's tag team division and champions? Couldn't agree more. I mean, I did a video for What Culture. Raw kicked SmackDown's ass. There's no two ways about it. As you noted, where was Finn and Shinsuke? Do we need a 20-minute Shane segment? Nope. Do we need 2 out of 3 falls? Nope. How about one decent left match before commercial and when we come back, a new match? I don't get it, Stan. It's too obvious, right? It's too obvious. One point I did want to add onto your video about AEW and why they can't go that hardcore route too much. If they did do it too much, they would have to keep going high and high with the stakes, and it would make a regular hardcore match boring. It would turn into where are the flaming barbed wires in place of the ring ropes, where are the neon light bulbs covered in acid. It's true, like we talked about that as well, the Fyter Fest stuff. I guess some people just react to these things on the internet, and I did no disrespect to those people, but I don't actually think they think it through. But yeah, there was this idea that because Fighter Fest was quite violent, that AEW was now going to be a mainstream, aggressive, and violent and grotesque promotion. But yeah, it's really not. Like Stan said, you run out of ideas very quickly. There is no bar, so it's just going to become commonplace after a while, and you can't tell us good stories. I don't know where this idea came from. Again, I don't think it's people thinking about it. And I certainly don't want that. You know, I want well thought out matches, and then when it does call for a bit of violence, do it. Hell yeah, because that separates you from WWE. But it was an interesting conversation some people were having. I don't really have a question this week, so I'll throw out a booking scenario. I like it. It seems the stuff with Sasha has quieted down. Last time I remember, I think she signed till 2020. As much as the tag division is non-existent, it does feel like the women's single division is getting put on the forefront more. I would agree. So here's my scenario, and I would like your thoughts. At Extreme Rules, Bayley wins over Alexa Bliss, but a beatdown ensues. Sasha runs out to help Bayley clear the ring and turns on her. Not one of the BS turns from previous, full-on weapons, chairs, etc. And this leads to the Sasha heel we need and a program to SummerSlam, Bayley versus Sasha. Cheers, my friend. As always, you're a gem. We are better for having you in our lives. Well, that's very kind, Stan. And you always say nice things, and thank you for your constant support. You've been there for a long time. I think that's excellent. And I actually think that WWE should do that, because then, I mean, you could even go the other way and have Alexa Bliss win over Bayley, because then Alexa Bliss can go off and actually, no, I take it back. Yeah, you want the title in that feud, don't you? You're right. I take it back. Yeah, so have Bayley, maybe Bayley wins over Alexa because Nikki Cross does something dubious. I know it doesn't make her a face, but it's WWE. They never worry about that anyway. But then absolutely, it reestablishes Sasha, gives her a good return. She's probably going to get booed anyway, because a lot of people don't like the fact she walked out. I don't have a preference. I think she can do whatever she wants. But also, yeah, the Sasha Banks face character has got a bit dry and has got a bit boring. So this way, we can switch it all around and reignite her. Dude, I think that's a great idea. And I think WWE probably don't have a better one in their arsenal, to be honest. But we will find out. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. I like it. Hey, Simon, I hope you're doing well this week. I am. Thank you very much, Mackenzie. I really appreciated the response you gave my question last week, as well as all the content this week. You're very kind, man. If it wasn't for guys like you, I wouldn't be able to do it. I have a couple of questions and a mystery I'm hoping you can solve. This is why Patreon Q&As are good. First, if you do not mind answering, how tall are you? For some reason, everyone I see on TV on my computer is automatically 6 inches taller than me. I'm 6'1", probably 6'1.5". Like I'm like a shade under 6'2", but yeah, 6'1.5" is my official height. Although everyone thinks I'm short. Everyone thinks I'm like 5'8". I guess again, like you say, people see you on YouTube, but no, I'm 6'1.5". I would like to be taller. I would like to be 6'4". Second, who do I have to write to get a father-son match where you spear Goldberg for the victory, or a father-son tag match where you and Goldberg face Vince and Shane? A genie from a lamp, I think, would probably be your best, but I don't know whether he accepts mail. Dude, if that ever happens, I have done something very right, and I will be a proud, proud person. Fingers crossed. Lastly, the mystery. This is something I have been able to figure out since I was 8 or so, and I'm hoping a wrestling pro such as yourself could help. Yeah. What is a pure striker, and what makes The Undertaker the purest striker in wrestling? Any insight is greatly appreciated, as I have no idea what Michael Cole means by it. Thank you again for the content and positivity, and I hope you keep smashing fools in the ring. Thank you, man. I have no idea. I take the mick out of that on Watch Culture all the time. How can you strike someone purely? Surely if you're going to punch someone in the face, it wants to be gritty and horrible, and you just get him in the face. It was like, how was Billy Gunn the most pure athlete in WWE? Was he a pure athlete? I know what they're getting at. It means he has a really good technique with his punch, but it makes absolutely no sense. You're right. And they have been saying it for around about 20 years. I don't know what a pure striker is. I don't know what the best pure athlete is. There's another one they say that always gets me. It's just wrestling gibberish. And the thing with wrestling gibberish, as much as I like it, once it's in the lexicon of wrestling, it never goes away. It's just there. And we just all accept it. Much like the fact that a champion can get counted out for a 10 count and he or she keeps the championship. That would never happen. Neither would the DQ rule. None of these would be real. But you make a good point. I like that, Mackenzie. That was good. Cheney, hey Simon, I hope you had a fantastic week. Mine has been very busy. So let's discuss wrestling. Let's do it. Second person, not much going on with the women's tag division. I did enjoy the matches with Carmella and the feud with Ember and Sonda and Mandy. Agreed, I like that. I like the Lacey Evans match, but stop burying Natalya. I think Natalya is as a gatekeeper. She's the female Dolph Ziggler. They're never going to put her in a big feud, but she'll always be there to get people better and everybody will respect her. Plus, where are Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan? Liv Morgan is on house shows. Sarah Logan came out on Raw a few weeks ago in the Dark segment and said she's a Viking now. Otherwise, no idea. I do think this thing with Nikki and Alexa will come full head at Extreme Rules. Maybe it would be a good feud to go into SummerSlam. Well, I agree, because that way, if we go with Stan's idea, we can get Sasha and Bayley at SummerSlam, and then you can get those two. That's a pretty good use of the women's division. Now the men's. I enjoyed that the club is back, definitely. AJ is a heel, which is the best. We needed a reset. Agreed. I like the Braun and Bobby match. I mean, it was a great way to start Raw, right? And made those characters interesting. I like KO and Dolph going at it. I didn't care to see Drew and Shane twice. Plus, where is Roman? I don't mind Roman Reigns not being on every week. He probably should have been on this week, given everything that happened last week. But if he's selling his beat down, I'm okay with it. I just think the commentators could have made that more clear. But I like the sparing use of Roman Reigns. I think it makes it more interesting. After watching Kevin Owens walk out of his match last week from Sami that never got addressed, maybe it will after Extreme Rules. I think they've just hit reset on that. I think that's why Sami Zayn wasn't on Raw or SmackDown, so we forget about it. And now we've kind of turned Kevin Owens' face, so just forget that he walked out. Classic. Where is Bray or the Firefly Funhouse? I did like Raw, and I liked a few of the non-PG things on both shows. So they keep doing these teases with the puppets. I did mention them on SmackDown and Raw this week on Ups and Downs, just because they're really hard to see, and I don't go and read any kind of results when I'm done, because it can influence my opinion. That's just human beings. So if I don't see them, I don't mention them, but I know they're there. But I think it's in a holding pattern. I think he's either going to come back at Extreme Rules the night afterwards, but how do we get there? I like the match with Becky and Seth, and Becky actually showing humility with Maria announcing her pregnancy, and her promo's good. I still feel Becky and Seth will retain Extreme Rules, but we shall see. They better do. I hope that Becky and Seth retain, and then we just stop this relationship thing. I don't think it benefits either of them. I like them both, but I don't think it doesn't enhance their character, and it doesn't enhance the titles. And if you're not doing that, then there's no point doing it. So as for myself, I had scans last Friday. I went Monday for my labs, follow up, and infusion. So my blood work looks good still, and scans showed I'm stable. This is what I like to hear, Cheney. Infusion caught up with me on Thursday. I also found out I have degenerative bone disease in my shoulders, knees, and feet. They said the cancer accelerated it. It sucks, but you just got to be positive and keep living your life like it's the last day on earth. I am staying positive and know this sucks, but what can you do? I just hope to come to England one day. When I do, be ready. Have a fantastic week. Well, as always, Cheney, you are a very beacon of positivity. I guess that's just... Unfortunately, that's why people say these things are awful, because, again, it's one thing after the other. But again, you've been here for a while. We hear about your updates, and I know that everybody, and you've seen on the Facebook group, everybody is pretty amazed with someone being able to deal with it like you do. So, you know, just keep doing you. Keep having that attitude. I mean, I'm not going to stand here and profess that I could ever understand properly. Again, I can sympathise, but I can't empathise. But I still send you all the best. Matthew Bailey. Hey, Simon. Hope you're having a good day. During the Women's World Cup, Alex Morgan of the US and Women's National Team sipped tea as a celebration, and many people from England took exception to the fact she did this. What were your thoughts on this and the match as a whole if you watched? Did we take exception to that? If that's the case, we're getting way too sensitive. I enjoyed everything the Americans did in the Female World Cup, or the Women's World Cup. I liked how boisterous they are. I like their swagger. I like their confidence. I like their arrogance. That's what I want from a team. And if I want to hate them because of that, good. Why is wrestling good? You got good guys and bad guys. If the Americans want to be the bad guys that go and win, no, I didn't even know that. I saw the celebration. I didn't know there was backlash. Do it again. Wind us up and let us do it back to you. No, excellent. I thought the match was good, full of drama. VAR continues to be a problem. Although saying that, like, they were offside. I know offsides have become ridiculous now because it's a matter of centimetres, but by the rules she was offside and we missed the penalty. So if you look at it from a VAR perspective, we got one and we didn't get one. So it worked, really. I always thought United States would win. They are the best team. But look, you know, women's team did great. Semi-finals, got the third place playoff tomorrow. I think it's just been an enjoyable tournament, but I don't like all this hoo-ha like you just said. Of course, the media coverage over here in America of the incident and the match was very biased towards Americans and patriotism and red, white, and blue, blah, blah. I was curious how it was viewed from a global perspective and not just the American bubble. Anyway, thanks for your opinions and content always. I mean, you're probably right, Matthew, and I would assume a lot of British people don't like it. The big fuss today is the Australia tennis player. I can't, Nick Kyrgios or whatever you pronounce his name, because he did an underarm serve. And he's got a bit of personality. Oh, awful. I love it. I love people like that. Would I want to be their friends? Maybe not. Maybe they'd wind me up. But as a sports person, I want to see a bit of personality and a bit of charisma. Like, that ties into the entertainment aspect. So, yeah, there are people over here that just want boring sports people. I'm not one of them. I want them, as long as it's within, you know, the moral realm, I want them to go absolutely crazy. So, no, I didn't see there was a backlash to it, but I know I'm not one of them. Dude, next time, bring out an actual cup of tea for real and drink it. Damn right, you scored. Jeffrey Pridemore. The other day I was watching Undertaker and Edge at WrestleMania 24. I was at that WrestleMania. Good day. I proceeded to watch their following TLC and Hell in a Cell matches after. I was reminded how underrated that particular trilogy is. What are some of your favourite lesser praised wrestling trilogies? Oh, Jeffrey, that's a question and a half. Did Austin and Triple H have a trilogy that ended at the 3 stages of hell? I think they had 3 matches. I loved that, if I recall. I'd have to look this up. Edge vs. Undertaker was good. The WrestleMania 24 match is one of the best main events at WrestleMania, but it never gets talked about. Again, I'm probably biased because I was there. Trilogies. I can't think of any. That's the problem. I will look it up, Jeffrey, and we will address it next week. Drop me a line the day before, and I will do it. Linda D. Hey, Simon, happy Friday. What's going on with Finn Balor? He hasn't been around much lately. Do you think he'll join the club at some point? I'd like to think so. I mean, if you're going to do something big with Gallows and Anderson and AJ Styles and the fact Finn Balor is doing nothing, why not? I don't know where he's been. He obviously teased with Shinsuke Nakamura last week, and then this week nothing. That's why he got it down. Well, not him, but that's why WWE got it down on this week's Ups and Downs for SmackDown. He should have been there. Also, I'm going to a WWE live event tomorrow for the first time in almost 20 years. I'm taking my nieces and nephews to their first show. We are all excited and hoping for a good time. Have a great weekend. You're going to love it, Linda. WWE is always fun, no matter what. Even if you kind of got a bit stale of the product. But when you go with kids or nieces and nephews, I'm going to presume they're quite young, you're going to have a blast. Definitely let me know how you get on. Let me know if you enjoy it, and let me know their reactions. I know every time I go to a wrestling show with some of my mates' kids, just seeing the looks on their faces and how happy and excited they are and how much they believe, it always makes me go, what are we doing, man? Why are we ripping on this? Look at that face. So let me know, Linda. That would be awesome. And hopefully Finn Balor will be there and he can make up for it. Cheney also says, I just watched one of the things that I love. Your Pizza Hut and nachos and ice cream, really? Oh man, I love it. Ours in the US doesn't do it. Well, Pizza Hut doesn't do nachos over here anymore, but they do ice cream. I don't know why they gave up the nachos. It's one of the best nachos ever, but a year or so ago they discontinued them. I guess I was the only person buying them. Oh, I'm also going to my first live event in 2 years. I did a Raw one, now a SmackDown one. I've thought about going to Memphis and going to an actual SmackDown live. Hope to journey to a Raw one soon because of Becky. Well, Shane, let me know how you get on. Then next week we can have 2 on-the-ground perspectives. Imagine you're going to the same show. Did you say what day it is? I'm going to blah, blah, GMB. No, you didn't say. Let me know when it is. If you're both going to the same show, that would be terrifying. But absolutely let me know how it goes. And finally, my man Derek, who was on the podcast recently. Hey, my friend, a few non-wrestling questions. What are you hoping that the PS5 does that previous consoles have not done yet? Give me some good games that I like. No, that's a joke. I'm a bit down on games at the moment because no one's doing anything really exciting. Like, I know the PS5 and the Scorpio are going to be great, but I'm a bit bored of it's going to do 120 frames. It's going to be super 4K. It's going to do this. It's like, okay, it looks great now, but how are you going to immerse me more? How are you going to tell me better stories? These are the things that I want. I don't really hear anybody talking about that. So I'm hoping to get more than that. I'm hoping the power and the technology that we have results in better, more interesting and emotionally connective games. Because that's what I miss. 2 random questions. Have you seen Spider-Man yet? If so, what are your thoughts? Also, what are you wanting from MC4 during Phase 4? Nope, I'll probably go and see Spider-Man next weekend. I'm resting this weekend, but I will go and see it. Everyone says it's pretty decent, all things considered, and kicks off Phase 4 well. I don't know what I think about Phase 4. A small part of me kind of wants to take a rest from Marvel films, even though I'm going to see Spider-Man, because I just think that Endgame did such a good job. It's almost hard to imagine dipping it. MCU is a bit like Raw and SmackDown. They just keep going, where really we could take a break and it would probably benefit it more. I will tell you more once I've seen Spider-Man. I'm hoping they tease some new characters, some new stories. I think there's a post-credit scene that's supposed to be awesome. And then hopefully after that I can go, all right, I'm in. Because a lot of my favorite characters may have gone away now. Obviously one has, especially. We won't talk about that. So I'm intrigued, but I don't know what they're going to do. But they haven't let us down so far. So it seems silly to think they will now. Take care, man. Back to work I go. Well, Derek, I hope you got back to work safe and sound. And that's it. That's this week's Q&A. Thank you so much, as always. Next week, we'll fix the bugs. We're not going to do it on Streamlabs. We're going to do it on OBS because OBS has never done this. It's basically because my Mac broke last week, I've now switched to my laptop to do it, which is usually where I stream the Pro Wrestling Podcast from, hence why you got this background. But it keeps setting it to public. It wasn't as bad as last week, which is good. I will fix it. But my apologies to patrons. But also a welcome to everyone that did stop by. Again, if you like this and you'd like to come do this once a week, patreon.com/Simon316. cheap as anything that was, but I've done it now, and I can't undo it. Right, that's Friday, done and dusted. Have a great weekend. Again, I'm at New Force Wrestling tomorrow, which is going down in Ivor near Slough, just outside of London. If you're around, come on down. Come say hello. Come see me whip some people's ass. Otherwise, yeah, look, just enjoy yourself. Enjoy your weekends. Relax, meditate. To tie in, and if you are going to a wrestling live show, have a good time. Don't worry about the naysayers. Even they would have a good show when they're in attendance. And I'll speak to you all next week.